Hello friends, welcome to Notebook Videos. We are here to discuss one of the most fundamental concepts in economics proposed by Adam Smith's theory of the invisible hand. Market equilibrium is simply an extension of the theory proposed by Smith. Adam Smith, a famous economist, proposed that it's best to let market forces compete with each other to arrive at the market equilibrium. Let all consumers compete to buy and all sellers compete to sell. This would lead to an automatic synchronization of self-motivated interests, leading to a market equilibrium. There is no need for the government to intervene and generate this equilibrium, Adam suggested. Demand and supply would adjust and do the best for themselves in a free market. Adam referred to this as the effect of an invisible hand. What then did he mean by this market equilibrium? And how did he think that demand and supply would do the best for themselves to adjust to this equilibrium? Imagine trying to buy your most favorite bicycle bike. In the last 6 months, you've been able to save about 4,500 rupees, and your bike costs rupees 4,800 in the market. You're hoping you could get a discount during the festive season. Well, there you are. The festive season arrives and you get a discount of 250 rupees on the market price of the bike. You are very happy as the purchase price reduces to rupees 4,550. But you still have to pay an extra rupees 50 to buy it. Well, you decide to borrow this extra rupees 50 from your father and buy your bike. So, market forces quietly adjust to sellers' selling price and consumers' price. What has just happened is that you've been part of the theory of invisible hand, my friends. Such adjustments of price happen every day with our vegetable and fruit vendors. Vendors are the sellers and we pose as the buyers. We see our parents negotiating prices with them, and finally, both the parties agree on a trading price. Again, the invisible hand. What an astonishing theory this is. It's amazing how the market demand and supply forces adjust. Here is a table that gives you some numbers on quantity demanded and quantity sold at different price levels. Can you identify the market equilibrium from here? Well, of course, at rupees 3, the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity sold. If I draw this as a graph, the market equilibrium is at the point of intersection of the demand and the supply curve. Notice that the demand curve is downward sloping and the supply curve is upward sloping. And the point of intersection is the point of market equilibrium. For the sake of simplicity, we assume that both are straight line curves. At any point above or below the market equilibrium, there is either excess supply or excess demand. Here we see that at point P star, the demand and supply curves intersect and an output of Q star is exchanged between buyers and sellers. Let's now look at a situation of excess supply and demand and how they adjust. At price P2, there is excess supply as supply exceeds demand. The gap between the demand and the supply curves indicates excess supply. Similarly, at price P1, there is excess demand as demand exceeds supply. With excess supply, firms reduce price and arrive at P star. With excess demand, firms raise prices and arrive at a price where consumers are still willing to pay for it, which is again P star. So this is how market forces automatically adjust. Adam Smith had envisioned the same when he proposed his theory. It is expected that if you have an equation of demand curve and an equation of supply curve, you can solve for the point of market equilibrium. Let's say you are given two straight line equations, one for the supply curve QS and one for the demand curve QD. QD is equal to 100 minus 5P and QS is equal to 10 plus 10P. Can you solve for the equilibrium price in this model? Well, let's do it. Since at market equilibrium, QD is equal to QS and is the point of intersection, we can simply write 100 minus 5P is equal to 10 plus 10P, or 100 minus 10 is equal to 10P plus 5P, or P is equal to 90 over 15 is equal to 6 rupees. So equilibrium price is equal to 6 rupees and equilibrium quantity is equal to 100 minus 5 times 6 is equal to 70 from the demand equation, and 10 plus 10 times 6 is equal to 70 from the supply equation. Both give the same result at the point of market equilibrium. Note that quantity demanded is a function of price, and so is quantity supplied. This is obvious as price is on the y-axis and is the only determining factor that affects quantity produced or sold. As in all theories of economics, we have factors shifting demand and supply. Here too, let's look at some examples. Imagine your mom negotiating with the fruit vendor again. She really wants to cook sweets made out of bananas and is willing to pay a higher price for it today. Economically, this is interpreted as shifting of the demand curve to the right. The same would happen to market demand curve if aggregate demand in the economy rises. So high market demand raises the price of the product and sellers charge a higher price for it at P2. They also increase supply to Q2 from Q1. A leftward shift in the demand curve would indicate a shrinkage in demand and leads to a fall in the price. Many factors such as loss in consumer income could influence such shrinkage. A shift in the market supply curve could again be caused due to reduction of input prices or technological advancements that automatically benefit the business. Increase in supply decreases the market price of a product. It could also be caused due to entrance of new producers in the market. It's obvious, my friends. If you have too much of anything, you don't want to pay a high price for it. There's plenty of fish in the sea for Rohan, and so fish is a cheap product for him. Imagine the same guy in a hill station where he would probably experience fish served as very expensive and as a rare delicacy. Remember, friends, there could be shrinkage of supply too. Shrinkage shifts the supply curve to the left. Let's consider an example when input prices rise. Say the marginal cost of production of a good rises for each firm in the market, and firms are able to now produce less. This would shrink supply and shift the curve to the left. This impacts price with a hike. Market supply could also reduce if a bunch of producers leave the market. This increases the price of the product as it is no longer so easily available. Simultaneous shifts of demand and supply curves are also possibilities that we need to look at, my friends. For example, imagine labor supply increases in the market for handmade jewelry. There is also a festive season coming up when it is expected that demand for such jewelry would increase. Let's analyze this case. Well, due to increased availability of labor, cost of labor falls and shifts supply curve to the right. Simultaneously, demand also rises and shifts to the right due to the upcoming festive season. In this case, the impact of price cannot be determined easily as we need to consider both effects at the same time. However, you need to remember that the new point of equilibrium is where the new supply curve S2 intersects the new demand curve D2. So, with this, we end the session on market equilibrium. I hope you will never forget about the invisible hand of market forces that determine the market equilibrium. Thank you for watching and goodbye.